Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Twist Gaming. We are here live at Origins 2018, and I have the pleasure of being joined today with Christopher from Brotherwise Games to show off some amazing old but new.
Everything old is new again.
There we go. I like that. Chris, I'm going to let you jump right into this.
Sure. All right. So what we're showing off today is the third standalone expansion of Boss Monster. So Boss Monster is the hit dungeon building card game that we kickstarted back in 2013, back when we were just a little couple folks who didn't know what we were doing.
Okay. You had a hit. It is a very popular game.
It's gone on. So Boss Monster is now in multiple languages, sold in hobby game stores all over the world. And thank you to our Kickstarter backers. You're the guys who made this happen. So this one is like Boss Monster 2 in that you can play it standalone,
Okay.
or you can shuffle it in. All the Boss Monster cards are made to shuffle together. And like all the previous games, you are the boss at the end of a retro-style video game dungeon.
So let me hop over right to the board so we can get into what the expansion looks like. There we go.
So this is all going to look familiar to Boss Monster fans. In Boss Monster, you play that big bad guy at the end of the dungeon.
Okay.
And a lot of this is homage and satire of retro video games. So we put a lot of Easter eggs in. We poke a lot of fun at some of the pop culture icons of our youth, but also modern day. So my youth being quite a bit back there at this point. This one has all new bosses.
Okay.
It has all new rooms. It has all new spells. It's a completely new set. And what's exciting about Rise of the Minibosses is that we've added a new card type.
Okay.
And that's the mini-boss card type.
Very
so the
cool.
mini-bosses buff rooms. And normally in Boss Monster, you build your dungeon out. And as you're building this dungeon, you're putting rooms out on the table. And so there's an example of a room there.
Okay.
And previously, those rooms get built together, but there wasn't a lot you would do. You would sort of string them together and build a dungeon of your choosing. But now you can take one of these mini bosses, and you can buff that room by putting it under there.
So I'm just going to grab these two. So this
Yeah,
is the
show them over there.
room.
So that's one of the multi-treasure rooms, and that one gives you a special power, and in fact has some homage to some famous keys in popular culture. I'm not going to say what they are. We'll see if people can figure it out later.
And here's our mini boss, Dracula.
Yeah. So Draculad, who is green screening the heck out of that right now. That's pretty cool, actually. That is crazy. So he is. We would actually put him underneath this room, so that his first power there is showing. You'd pay a coin, and the coins are new. The coins are something that we've also added into Boss Monster 2. We'll see if they green screen up, too.
Yeah, sure.
That's so cool.
So
There's a game in here somewhere, guys, with that. And then as you promote him even more, he gets stronger and stronger. So the mini bosses make your rooms tougher. There is a little bit of a cost of playing them in the sense that they cost these coins to build. Coins are gained from other rooms, and they're spent on other rooms to power them up. So the new coin mechanic is also something which breathes sort of fresh life into the game. If you've played Boss Monster before, we're hoping this will bring you back because it totally changes the game. It puts a lot of interesting complexity into it.
very cool. But you can still take this version of the game, and if you have one of the two original box sets, you can mix it all together, and now you're adding a new kind of complexity even to those older versions.
Absolutely.
Of the game.
And we see some fans playing with all the sets, and they have this giant stack of cards, and I don't know how they keep it all straight. But Boss Monster is sort of a living game. It just keeps going. This new set, we think it's really special. It adds some neat stuff to it that we think people are really going to like.
Very, very cool. So I'm just going to grab, I saw this one, and man, these are, you can take all three of those.
Yeah. So they're a lot of fun. So obviously with the mini bosses are kind of an iconic part of retro video games.
Very cute.
If any of you played Mega Man, you're going to remember facing Leaf Man and Electro Man. And so we've got in some homages there to those games. Some of them obvious there, some of them less obvious. We'll see if those folks...
oh, yeah, that was a bad idea.
He's really green screening bad.
Super green screen.
So we've been demoing this out on the gaming hall here at Origins. People have been loving it. It doesn't launch in stores until July,
Okay.
but it should be in stores before Gen Con. So go to your friendly local game store, ask them if they've pre-ordered it. If they haven't, make sure they get on that and be one of the first to play it.
What's the price point on this game?
Nice thing about Boss Monster, all the major expansions, just like the original game, $25 MSRP.
Not
So
bad
you
at
get
all.
100, and this is our biggest expansion yet. You get 165 cards. You get a lot of these coins, which will, and more than enough for a 4-player game. Boss Monster plays 2 to 4 players with the base sets.
What's an average playtime for Boss Monster?
Once you know what you're doing, a 2-player game of Boss Monster takes about 20 minutes. A 4-player game takes about 40 to 50 minutes.
Okay.
We like to think of it as a quick sort of filler game. It's light. It's easy to learn. This is the game that we hear from folks. The gamer girlfriends like it. The gamer boyfriends like it. The folks who don't normally get in on games, they're willing to sit at the table with our gamer fans and play it. It's very accessible, and the theme really speaks to people. So it brings people to the table.
Very nostalgic. Everybody loves the 8-bit
Absolutely.
kind of look to it. So that's very, very cool. Thank you very much for showing us Rise of the Minibosses, but I know that you guys are working on more than just Boss Monster.
Absolutely. So we released Unearth. That's our second title that we came out with. That came out at Gen Con last year.
Okay.
We're also demoing that out on the Game Hall now, and that's another one you can get in game stores right now. Unearth is all over the place. What we're really excited about is in July we're going to be kickstarting a new game called Call to Adventure.
Okay.
Call to Adventure is a hero crafting game. So basically it harkens back to when we were kids. I don't know what your guys' experience was. We were always making D&D characters and never playing D&D. We could never get enough people together for a campaign, but we loved character creation. We loved that sense of sort of breathing life into another person that you were going to play and pretend to be during role-playing. And so Call to Adventure is all about that. You start with an origin, a motivation, and a destiny, and over time you face challenges and you build that out. The exciting thing is we're going to be partnering with some prominent fantasy authors.
Oh, that's cool.
We can't announce them yet. We're going to announce them during Kickstarter in July.
Okay.
But we'll be doing a branded expansion set in those worlds.
Oh, that's neat.
So some of the top fantasy authors out there right now. So we'll have more to show on that on our Facebook page at brotherwisegames.com. And if you haven't followed us there yet, we've also been teasing some of the art there.
Ooh, exciting.
Exciting.
Christopher, is there anything else you want to make sure our audience knows?
No, you guys have. Thanks so much for having us on.
Thanks for coming.
Get out there and get your Boss Monster on. It's a super fun game.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for your time, Christopher.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate it.